South Padre Island looks like a Caribbean paradise, but one oversight can cost you $500 before you even touch the water. Most people treat this 30-mile island like any other beach town. That's their first big mistake. Today, I'm walking you through the 10 critical mistakes that will ruin your Texas vacation, including a major reality check about the North End that most tourists don't discover until they're already stranded. From legal traps involving glass on the beach to a Causeway tax that could cost you your flight home. Here's what you need to avoid to actually enjoy South Padre Island. Let's start with a mistake that begins before you even leave your house. The spring break calendar trap. The single biggest mistake people make when booking a trip to South Padre is not checking the dates for what locals call Texas Week. While the island is a peaceful, family-friendly destination for 10 months of the year, March is a completely different world. If you're looking for a quiet family getaway and accidentally book during the second or third week of March, you'll find yourself in the middle of a massive 24-hour party with upwards of 50,000 college students. During this time, hotel prices triple, grocery stores run out of basic stock, and noise levels on Padre Boulevard are through the roof. If you aren't there specifically for the party, you'll likely regret the trip. Conversely, if you want the high-energy party scene and show up in late April, you'll find a ghost town. Always sync your booking with local university break schedules first. It's the difference between a relaxing retreat and a week of loud music and massive crowds. But once you've picked the right dates, you still have to actually get onto the island. And that's where mistake number 2 comes in. There's one bridge onto the island, the Queen Isabella Causeway. It's a beautiful 2.5-mile drive over the Laguna Madre, but it's also a massive bottleneck. A common mistake is trying to leave the island on a Sunday afternoon at the same time as everyone else. During peak summer weekends or holiday breaks, traffic on the Causeway can back up for miles, turning what should be a 5-minute drive into a 2-hour ordeal. If you have a flight to catch out of the airports in Brownsville or Harlingen, failing to factor in the Causeway tax can result in a missed flight. The locals know the secret. If you're leaving on a busy Sunday, try to be across that bridge before 10 a.m. or wait until after 7 p.m. Rushing to the bridge at noon is a recipe for frustration. Once you're across that bridge, your next big decision is exactly where to drop your bags. Because not all waterfronts are created equal. South Padre is narrow, but where you stay matters immensely for your daily experience. Many travelers book a waterfront hotel, thinking they'll wake up to the sound of crashing waves, only to realize upon arrival that they're on the Laguna Madre side, facing the mainland. While the Bayside has incredible sunsets and calmer water perfect for kayaking or paddleboarding, it doesn't have the sandy beaches. To get to the surf, you'll have to cross Padre Boulevard, which can be busy and difficult to navigate with kids and beach gear. If you want the classic toes in the sand experience, you need to stay on the east side of the island. However, a secondary mistake is ignoring the Bayside entirely once you're there. Some of the island's best, most affordable dining and liveliest entertainment are tucked away on the Bayside. Balance is key, but don't let a waterfront label trick you into a location that doesn't fit your needs. Texas has unique laws that allow driving on many of its beaches, and the north end of South Padre is a playground for off-roading. But here's the mistake that costs hundreds of dollars: thinking your standard front-wheel drive sedan or minivan can handle the sand. Every single weekend, dozens of tourists get stuck in the deep, soft sand near Access Road 5 and 6. Because these areas are remote, towing fees on the island are notoriously high, often starting at $200 and climbing based on how far north you've wandered. If you don't have high clearance and four-wheel drive, do not attempt to drive onto the beach. Even if the sand looks packed and firm near the water, the path you have to take to get there is often a trap for standard vehicles. Stick to the paved parking lots at the beach access points if you aren't properly equipped. If that tip just saved you a $200 towing fee, consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on notifications. I'm posting new guides every Friday to help you avoid these kinds of travel headaches in small towns across the US. And I'd love to have you along for the next adventure. Now, even if you stay on the paved roads, there's another element that can catch people off guard. Mistake number 5, the wind. People come for the sun, but they aren't always prepared for the wind. South Padre is one of the windiest locations in the United States, which is why it's a world-class destination for kiteboarding. The mistake tourists make is setting up a standard cheap beach umbrella and walking away to go for a swim. On a typical afternoon, that umbrella becomes a dangerous spinning projectile. You'll see experienced locals using heavy-duty sand anchors, shibumi wind shades, or even weighted down tents. If you're bringing your own gear, make sure it's rated for 20 miles per hour gusts. If not, you'll spend your afternoon chasing your belongings down the coast. If the wind is picking up, it's often safer to skip the umbrella entirely and rely on high-quality sun clothing. Speaking of safety, there's a specific flag system on this island that could save your life, or at least your skin. When you look at photos of South Padre, you see emerald green water. But the ocean is a living thing that changes daily. A major mistake is not checking the flag colors at the lifeguard stands before you dive in. South Padre occasionally deals with sea nettles, or jellyfish, and during certain times of the year, red tide, which is an algae bloom that can make the air difficult to breathe for those with respiratory issues. If you see a purple flag, it means hazardous marine life is present in the water. Walking in blindly can lead to a very painful sting that ruins your entire vacation. It only takes 5 seconds to check the flag color. If it's purple, it's a great day for a walk on the shore, but maybe keep your feet out of the water. And while you're on that walk, make sure you aren't carrying the one thing that will get you an immediate ticket. This is the mistake I mentioned at the beginning, and it's the one that catches almost everyone by surprise. South Padre Island has a zero-tolerance policy for glass containers on the beach. It doesn't matter if it's a high-end soda or a bottle of beer. If a ranger or police officer sees glass in your hand, or even just sitting inside your cooler, it's an immediate, non-negotiable fine that can reach up to $500. This isn't just about being strict, it's about safety. Broken glass in the sand is almost impossible to clean up and is a major hazard to kids and sea turtles. The same zero-tolerance policy applies to littering. Because the island is a protected sanctuary for the Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, leaving behind even a single plastic bag can lead to a heavy fine. Switch everything to cans or reusable plastic before you cross the bridge to ensure your budget goes toward dinner, not a ticket. And for that dinner, you might want to head back toward the mainland for a hidden gem. Most people treat the town of Port Isabel as a mere hurdle to clear as they rush toward the island. That's a mistake. Port Isabel is a historic fishing village with a completely different atmosphere that's worth your time. The Port Isabel Lighthouse is the only one in Texas that you can actually climb, offering a stunning view of the Causeway and the island from across the water. Additionally, the local seafood markets in Port Isabel sell fresh shrimp and fish right off the boats for a fraction of the price you'll pay at the resort restaurants on the island. Spending a few hours exploring the museums and shops of Port Isabel offers a much more authentic Texas coastal experience. But whether you're on the island or the mainland, the Texas sun is far more aggressive than most people realize. Because the Gulf breeze is almost always blowing, the air on South Padre feels much cooler than it actually is. This tricks tourists into thinking they aren't burning. The UV index on the island is frequently at an extreme level, even on days that look a bit hazy. The mistake is applying sunscreen once at 9 a.m. and thinking you're protected for the day. By the time you feel the heat on your skin at 3 p.m., the damage is already done, and you'll likely spend the rest of your trip in pain. This is especially true if you're on a boat for a dolphin cruise or a fishing charter, where the sun reflects off the water and doubles your exposure. A bad burn is the fastest way to turn a 5-day trip into a 1-day trip, followed by 4 days in a hotel room. Finally, the biggest mistake of all happens when people assume the entire island is just hotels and restaurants. For our final mistake, we have to talk about the north end of the island. Many people see photos of the vast, empty dunes and think they can just drive north until they find a private spot to camp or spend the day. Here's the reality check. Once you pass the last of the hotels and the paved roads end, you're entering a true wilderness. The northern part of the island is almost entirely undeveloped. There are no bathrooms, no freshwater stations, no trash cans, and most importantly, no cell phone service in many stretches. If you head north without being fully prepared with a full tank of gas, plenty of drinking water, and a way to handle your own waste, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation. It's beautiful and rugged, but it's not a park in the traditional sense. If you venture into the dunes, go with a plan and ensure you're self-sufficient. Now that you know what to avoid, you're ready to focus on what makes this island so special. If you want to see my full guide on the best activities and hidden gems, check out my original South Padre video right here. Knowing what to avoid is the first step, but knowing where the best spots are is how you make the trip unforgettable. Which of these mistakes surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you, and it helps other travelers plan their trips. Before you head to your next destination, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a guide on the best small towns and coastal escapes in the US. More adventures are coming every week, so click on the left for a video YouTube thinks you'll love, or on the right for a playlist of our favorite Texas destinations. See you in the next adventure.